Everyone keeps telling you AI saves you 20 hours a week. 20. I kept seeing that exact number on every thumbnail, every video, every post, so I finally did the one thing none of those hype channels ever actually do. I sat down and added it up. Workflow by workflow with honest numbers, the kind you'd actually hit in a normal messy week, not the fantasy version. And here's what I found. 20 hours a week is a lie, but stick with me. Because the truth is better than the lie, and here's why. The real number is when you'll actually believe and actually reach. So let me show you the entire math live on screen and you can watch the total climb with me. Here's exactly how this works. I'm going to walk you through 5 specific AI workflows, the kind any small business owner can set up this month without a developer and without a big budget. And for every single one, I'll give you the honest time it saves, not the inflated best case everything goes perfectly number. The real one after the tool is set up and running in your actual business. And we'll keep a running total right here on the screen the whole way through so you can watch it add up in real time. No rounding up, no imagine if, just the hours that genuinely come back to your week. Deal? Let's build it. But first, let me tell you why the hype actually hurts you. Because this part matters. Somebody promises you 20 hours. You get excited, you try one tool for an afternoon, you fumble with it. You save maybe 20 minutes and you quit completely convinced AI is overblown nonsense for people with more time than you. That's the trap. The real numbers are smaller than the big promise, yes, but they are real and they stack on top of each other fast. By the end of this, you'll see a number that's less than 20 and worth far more than 20 because for once you'll actually believe it. Okay, workflow 1, your inbox. For most owners I talk to, this is the single biggest time sink in the whole week, and it's the most boring, which is the worst possible combination. Here's what the AI actually does. It connects to your email, reads every message the second it lands, and sorts the real ones from the noise. Then for the questions you answer 50 times a week, what are your hours? Do you do this? Can you fit me in Friday? What's the price? It rates a complete first draft in your own tone of voice. You open your inbox, you skim the drafts, you tweak a word, you hit send. That's it. Honestly, for a typical owner drowning in email, that is about 3 hours a week handed straight back. It's not glamorous. It's just 3 hours you used to spend typing the same 5 answers over and over. 3 on the board, instant lead response. Now pay close attention to this one because it's special. The moment somebody fills out the form on your website or misses a call to your business, the AI fires off a reply in seconds. A friendly text answering their first question and offering them a time to book automatically while you're up a ladder or in a meeting or asleep. In pure hours, this one only saves you about 2 a week of actual typing. But here's why it's the most important workflow on this whole list. The research on this is brutal. Most small businesses take hours to respond to a new lead, and by then that customer has already called your competitor and booked them. Speed wins the job. So this saves you 2 hours, sure, but the sales it quietly catches while you're busy living your life, that's the part that pays for every other tool on this list. 2 more hours. We're at 5. Content. One idea turned into a full week of posts, captions, and an email. Drafted in about 10 minutes, instead of you sitting there at 9 o'clock on a Sunday night, staring at a blank screen, hating it. You give the AI one thought, one tip, one promotion, and it spins it into a week of material. But I'm going to stay honest with you because that's the whole point of this channel. AI drafts it, you still have to edit it. It does not know your taste, it does not know your customers, and left alone it'll sound like a robot wrote it because one did. So it is not free time, you're still in the loop. But realistically, it takes about 3 hours a week of staring and writing off your plate. We're at 8 hours now, and we are not even close to done, and you've already clawed back a full work morning every single week. The repetitive questions, every business has them. Where are you located? What are your hours? Where's my order? Do you take walk-ins? Do you deliver? You've answered each one 1,000 times. An AI responder handles all 100 of those copy-paste questions instantly, day and night, and crucially, it only ever passes you the ones that genuinely need a human. Call it an honest 2 hours a week back. And here's the quiet magic of it. It's working at midnight on a Sunday on a holiday while you are completely switched off and asleep, catching the customer who would have otherwise given up and gone somewhere else. 10 hours. We just hit double digits. And we've got one workflow left. The admin nobody ever sees and nobody ever thanks you for. The weekly report you dread pulling together. The numbers you copy out of one app and paste into another. The appointment reminders. The invoice you keep forgetting to send until it's 2 weeks late and now it's awkward. The AI summarizes the report, fills the data, sends the reminders, and chases the invoice all on schedule, all without you touching a single thing. That is another 2.5 hours of pure, soul-draining friction just gone from your week. So let's lock in the final number on the board. 12.5 hours a week. 12.5, not 20. And I really want you to sit with that number for a second, because 12 real hours beat 20 imaginary ones every single time, and it's not even close. 12.5 hours a week is a full day and a half back in your hands every week. Now run that across an entire year. That's roughly 75 days. 75, that's 2.5 months of your life returned to you from 5 workflows you set up one time and then basically forget about. That is the real prize here, and it's bigger than the lie ever was. So where on earth does that 20-hour myth even come from? It comes from 2 little tricks. Trick 1, they take the absolute best case, everything perfect number for every task, and quietly pretend you'll hit the maximum on all of them at once. You won't. Nobody does. Trick 2, and this is the sneaky one, they completely forget to mention the time it takes to set these tools up in the first place and to fix them when they break, because they do break. Our number, our 12.5, is the honest figure after the setup is done in a normal, chaotic, real-world week for a normal, busy owner. It's a smaller number. And it's smaller precisely because it's honest. And honestly, that is the entire reason this channel exists. Okay, so how do you actually capture those hours instead of just nodding along and forgetting this by tomorrow? Here is the one rule. Do not, under any circumstances, try to build all 5 of these this weekend. You'll get overwhelmed, you'll burn out by Sunday afternoon, you'll quit, and we're right back to the 20-minute problem from the start. So build one, just one. Start with the lead response, because it's the one that pays for itself the fastest, usually inside the very first week. Get that single one working. Feel what it's like to have a lead answered perfectly without you lifting a finger. And then once it's running on its own, add the next one. One workflow at a time. That is how 12 hours actually show up in your real calendar, instead of staying trapped in a video you watched once and forgot. And one serious warning before you go build anything. These 5 workflows are all the grind, the repetitive, predictable, boring stuff AI is genuinely, reliably good at. Do not point AI at the things that actually need you. The upset customer who needs a real apology, the pricing decision on a big job, the negotiation, the relationship that took you years to build. Automate the busy work, protect the judgment. Those are the 2 halves of the whole game. Get that line wrong, hand a robot the conversation that needed a human heartbeat. And AI doesn't save you 12 hours, it quietly costs you a customer, and that's a far worse trade than the time you saved. So here is the honest verdict, the one I promised you at the start. AI does not hand you 20 hours of fantasy. It hands you about 12 real ones every single week. As long as you set it up properly and stay honest about what it can and can't actually do. 12 hours you get to pour back into the work only you can do, the work that actually grows the business. Or, and this is allowed too, into not working at all for once. Into your life. That is not hype. That is not a thumbnail promise. That is just simple, honest math you can finally trust. So if you want to actually start, build the lead workflow first. I'll say it one more time because it matters. The whole stack runs on free and near free tools, nothing expensive, and the exact one I'd start with is linked right below. Go set it up this week, watch a real lead get answered in 9 seconds while you're fast asleep, and then come back and we'll build the next 4 together. Because this channel is the honest version of AI for small business. The real numbers, what actually works and what quietly doesn't. If that's the kind of straight answer you've been looking for, subscribe, and I'll see you in the very next one.